Greetings once again, and welcome to my new calculus channel. My name is John Gabriel. So, today uh, I'd like to make an announcement first, and that is that my latest book has been completed, but it's in the process of being proofread, checked, etc. And I'm just going to give you a foretaste of it. But before I do that, let me explain to you what the book is about. Okay? So, the book is basically called The Essential Mathematics, and mathematics is the abstract science of measure and number. And who is this aimed for? It's aimed for the following people in the following order. Number one, Fields Medal winners, Abel Prize winners. Number two, mathematics professors. Number three, mathematics teachers. Number four, you as a student who wants to learn the basics of mathematics the proper way. This book is basically it's not even groundbreaking, it's universe shattering. That's how good it is. In other words, it's what you've always wanted and couldn't get because your idiot educators didn't know. Okay. So, and the reason I'm doing this is, of course, to supplement my poverty level income, which, yes, you won't believe is less than $1,000 a month. I was cheated by Social Security in the United States because I never had enough recent work credits. Yes, it's actually terrible how they insert clauses like that to screw people like me who probably paid more taxes than most people do in their entire lives. It's a shame, but there you go. So I need to somehow supplement my meager income. And of course, the idiot Donald Trump has slashed off another 15% of that with his recent tariffs. So, because when I convert it into a foreign currency where I live, I get 15% less. But guess what? I couldn't live in the United States. I'd love to live there, by the way. I'd love to be back in the US. I'd love to have retired in the US. But I can't. I would literally be on the streets if I were in the United States right now. Wouldn't be able to afford room rent, never mind anything else. So, don't want to go on a long Trumpian rant, but this book is what you've been waiting for, okay? And I'm not going to give you a free copy with a watermark. It's going to be set at a reasonable price if I can get it published. If I can get it published, guess what? You're never going to see the contents of this book, okay? Unless the person who's proofreading it feels sorry for you and decides to share it. So, now, um, why is this book so important? Because it teaches you the basics that you need to know. In other words, we don't need endless hours of bogus research by these PhD math morons who don't know, first of all, the first thing about mathematics, because their PhD is not about mathematics. It's usually about set theory, topology, or group theory, or some shit like that, which is anti-mathematical rot. I mean, group theory might be interesting, but it's really not mathematics. It uses a part of mathematics called combinatorics, but it's not mathematics. Neither is mathematical statistics. So, even though it's called mathematical statistics. So, mathematics is the abstract science of measure and number. So, this book tells you about how you get numbers. Okay, it tells you from the very beginning how all these things come together. And so you ask, well, surely that's been published. Well, guess what? It hasn't. No one's ever published this information. No one. Okay. I am the great John Gabriel who is sharing this brilliant knowledge with you. Now, there have been many libelers like this little bastard here, Marcus Cliver. Okay. Um, See, when you get people who suffer from terminal Dunning-Kruger, this is what they look like this guy here. So, and there are many like him, by the way. They're little lackeys for older reptiles like Gilbert Strang, Jack Hazinger, David Ulrich. Oh, I could name countless others. They're all a bunch of scumbags, filthy, dirty, uh, ingenious, disrespectful, ignorant, incompetent, and incorrigibly stupid individuals who've been allowed to actually walk into a university classroom or lecture. Now, I hate them because they are the ones who destroyed my life. Okay. How did they destroy my life? Through libel. And guess what? Yeah, libel's allowed in the US. Read the case of Judge Posner against the guy who wanted to sue somebody for an article that was published on Pi. Um, yeah, so they can get away with these things. And of course, what does somebody on poverty level wages like me do? Am I going to sue them or try and survive? Well, I should have shot myself. That's what I should have done. But anyway, then you wouldn't have this. Okay, so now, why is this all so important? Well, let me explain. So, recently, one of the people who are reviewing it for me was using ChatGPT and he found this reference to my work. And here's the striking part. Look at what the reptiles do. Well, this must have been a clever prompt engineer who included, but it says why historians consider it powerful. Okay, this single proposition, they never did consider it powerful. I brought it to their attention, by the way. I showed how powerful this proposition is through my genius intelligence. Okay, nobody else was able to do it. The single proposition enables the execution of all basic arithmetic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, using only ratios of magnitudes. It's been called the most important proposition by some scholars. Actually, they're even afraid to call me by name, by the way. I'm the only one who's called it the most important proposition. And I do that in my, let's just go there for a second. I do that in my academia site. Here it is. Okay. So, and it only has 26 views. So I don't know they, how most scholars don't even know about it, right? So it's obviously a lie. Now, um, it abstracts the notion of arithmetic into geometry, can manage fractions, sums, etc., entirely through geometric ratios. And you can learn the right way, as I show you in Essential Mathematics. So, in this lesson, for example, I show you how you can reduce fractions, or how you can do division, which, by the way, is also a very vague concept in mainstream mathematics. They don't understand it, never have. But basically, it's just the use of geometry to reduce a quotient so that it has only one number at the top and one at the bottom. In other words, a numerator and denominator. And you may be wondering why you can actually cancel these values. Well, guess what? I show you these things in my free ebook, okay? So I'm not going to show you all of it, but over here I show you why you can actually cross out 3 on the top and the bottom. It's a pretty simple. It's a pretty simple and easy proof, and this is the entire proof here. Okay. So you only get to see that and a lot of other stuff if you buy my book, and of course, if it's ever published. Okay. So, and they've also got a link to one of my YouTube videos. Wow, isn't that just amazing? So, again, this must have been some very clever prompt engineer, because by some scholars, not John Gabriel, not me, because I'm mentally ill, I'm disturbed, I'm narcissistic. I have borderline personality. Um, I mean, I'm libeled by little Dunning-Kruger idiots like Marcus Kleiber, Jean-Pierre Massager, Jan Bursa, that little twat from Switzerland, Jan Bilowski, that ultra fucking moron from San Francisco who sent me a note recently telling me he's moved to Switzerland. I feel sorry for the Swiss. Um, well, there are many of those idiots on the internet who have libeled me. To all of you, a big fuck you, and I hope you suffer badly. I hope your end is long and painful. And here's another thing I want to tell you, people. Um, you better pray. Not that praying is going to help. I don't know. You just better hope that I get this book published. Because if I don't, you're not going to see it. So, click like, become a subscriber, because that way you can help me earn a little bit more money. By the way, I am on poverty wages. I just told you that. I'm not getting paid much. I mean, Jesus, I think people who go to the US get paid more than I do, and they're not even citizens. Okay, I'm a US citizen. They're not. And I've never committed any crimes. They've committed crimes and they get paid. Okay, so can you see the injustices here by these ultra evil moron math academics in the shit pile that is known as mainstream math academia? I absolutely 100% hate them and wish the very worst for all of them. Damn them, damn them, damn them. I'm John Gabriel, and this is New Calculus Channel. Till next time, goodbye.